lähteä pois. Are we good? Jonas, are we now live? Thank you. Welcome everyone here, live, present live in the internet. This is Finland, Jyväskylä 2020 and February 20th. We are now in the ending event of the course, Advanced Topics in System Development. Like we in Finnish, we like to say TJTSM54. Very good. All right. So this course is about advanced topics, and we have had huge drive to reach the point where we are now. We have 26 project teams that have completed their project work, and what they have been doing is going to be amazing. So you will be amazed to see the results. We are going to see 26 teams doing domain-specific modeling, and they have learned to do that on a very specific and interesting domain. The domain is on board games. Now, the idea here is that, of course, coding by hand is wonderful. We have been doing this for histories and histories. But what is even more wonderful is that when you are able to model the domain, you can effectively produce number of variations of the system. And that's the secret that we have been learning this year. And this is also the topic that we will continue in the future. So 26 teams you will see. Everyone will come on stage here, where I'm standing right now, and they will be smiling like I have agreed, that smiling is good. And then, as an audience, what you will see is you will see a 90-second movie about the idea, about the game they have been developing. And this is followed by 90 seconds of talk from the team. They will talk about what happened in the project from the viewpoint of domain-specific modeling. So we understand better what the project is all about and how the domain-specific modeling actually helped the teams to get to the point. And then, if you stay here after the presentations, we will take a grand tournée around the stands that we have put in place. Forgetting my English skills, sorry. And so in the stand we have a poster, and then we have a physical demonstration of the outcome of the project. And the cameraman will go around, and every team will have a chance to present their poster and the stand in 2 minutes' time. And no event is excellent without wonderful judges. And we are very honored this year to have here 3 judges. You guys, please, honorable judges, come on stand next to me, so also the camera will pick you up. And so we have 3 judges, and they will say just a few words about their expectations and perhaps where they come from, but just keep it brief. Juhani Risku.
Yes, I'm an architect and designer working at the lab, the startup lab. And when I took a short round here, so it's extremely difficult to make any differentiation between you. Your quality level is very high.
Hello. But that's your task, so you will do that.
I'm doing it.
Okay, good. So we are getting the number 1 and honorable mention, the best project and honorable mention. And then Juha-Pekka Tolvanen.
Hello, I work for industry past 20 years, background in this university. I'm looking to find out the best languages, and for me the best is something that attracts me and raises the level of abstraction, so makes the language use easy.
All right, finally we have Jarno Hietalahti.
Hi all, I'm a philosopher, and well, I suppose I will be expecting something mind-blowing in the most philosophical sense of the word. So I'm eager to see what you guys have done.
All right, thank you. Now you can go back to your seats. The judges will be, they will not be, in the interest of time, we will not be asking questions after the presentation on stage, but we will immediately go to the next one, so we get all the videos and the presentations shown, and then the judges will go around and individually talk to you in your individual stands. And when you are presenting here, so we have here the, what are the markers here on the floor?
Stand behind that so-called line.
But if they don't,
The arrows are the line.
yes. So when you come here, you stand here, and then we look at the video, and then you can go behind the markers and stand as a team, so you have a place. But when you leave, you come here, you shake my hand, like a moment of success, and I will give you 100,000 Pekka dollar each. You know what you will do? You will immediately become an angel investor. You will take that Pekka dollar seriously because you will be investing in other teams. So we have only one rule: don't invest in your own team. And as you have 100,000, remember, you can give it to one team, 100,000. Or what you can do is you can split them. You have 10,000 bill, you have another 10,000 bill, you have a 50,000 bill, so you'll be able to shock somebody. So use that money wisely. We will have the audience favorite is the team that got the most money. So keep that money to yourself when it comes. And don't let anybody steal it. That would be uncool. We will do some negative points if somebody does. I will take all that money. All right, and judges will not be delivering any money. They will be just doing their work. And I think I have just one more thing to say before we go. And use this opportunity. We have a super cool people here and online. So there is something that will happen in a few weeks' time that you should be aware of. So Contrive is an event that is the best hackathon ever organized here in 2 weeks' time, or 6 to 8 of March. What makes it really cool, what I think is cool, it's the city of Jyväskylä's problems that you guys would be fixing if you choose to participate. And if when you participate, you can go there alone, or you can go there as a team of 3 to 5 people, and you will be competing against company teams. So there will be teams actually from companies. You will be well fed, so a lot of food, and you get the magical 2 credit points, which we all love, and then as a bonus you can win some money. From the audience here, if you're interested in that, you need to sign up by end of the month. And we have Sanna Kaja Mäenpää. Sanna, say something. So that hey was Sanna Kaja. So talk to her and pick up the, let's say, the brochure from here. So for those who are interested. But I think that's it. I think we are ready. A lot of excitement. No more Anna Tude right now. Later Anna Tude. And money is there. I will be here, team number 11. You guys are coming up, right? Let's give a big round of applause for team number 11. You guys come here. And then I'm here. Money is here. And let's, guys, say yeah.
Yeah!
Audience, say yeah.
Yeah!
All right, I think we are ready to start. Let's play the video.
the arrow, like the last 10 seconds with the arrow. Yeah, dear investors, we are Metaflux and we are developing an epic mobile turn-based board game named Epimetheus 10. Our working approach was with domain-specific modeling, and therefore we had not only one, but we have 3 different versions that are strategically aligned. So first, we have a local gaming mode, which is going to be playable just local without internet connection. So even in not first world countries, it's going to be playable. Then we have second, the possibility to play with your peers within a blockchain environment. So we are not going to need servers in our background. And third, for those who even need more thrill, we're going to have like a real competing environment, which is like a competition brand. And yeah, finally, when all this is done, we're going to monetize it, so you got your refund from what you put in now. So please team up with us. We need the money to go to the market and make Epimetheus come to life.
Team number 11, thank you. Next team up. Presentation, money box.
Yeah.
Three similar items from treasure chest, so you can win the game.
And our game is based on our meta model, which you can see here, and we can tell it more about it on our stand. But all our game variations are built based on this meta model here. So the amount of variations is...
You can see on the stands.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, well done. Money talks. Next team.
So, on behalf of my team, I want to present you our idea, the game called Pitch Lab. And everyone who has been playing with the stopwatch knows how addictive it is to get that 1 second, 1.00 seconds. So what we did, we implemented the timer to our fourth game like this. And with the help of the DSM, now we can modify this game different variations. We can have 2 to 4, 6, maybe even 8 peoples. We have different game variations like who will get close to the 1 second, who will be the fastest one, who will get most rounds win, and so on. So this is our game called Bit Slap.
Team Bit Slap, thank you. 10,000. Thank you. 10,000 Pekka dollar. More Pekka dollar. Thank you. Next team. Let's be on the other side. Let's be swiftly here. All right.
We are Block Party and these are our models. The first game idea is to go around once. This is for 2 players minimum. You get 400 at the start of the game and the pawn can be placed in any city. You can go to another city by flying or throwing the die. The flying cost is in the red box. When you throw the die, you must get the number that is in the white square. When reaching the city, draw an event card. You might lose money or gain money when drawing it. In the second game, each player has their own base, goal and 4 pawns. The winner is the one who has moved all the pawns from the base X to goal X. At the start of the game, the player's pawns are placed in the base. The player throws the die and moves 1 pawn depending on the roll of the die. The pawns cannot leave the base until the player rolls 6. The player can move any of the 4 pawns. There are 10 steps between 2 bases and 4 between the base and the goal. The number above the bases and the goals tell the quantity of the pawns. In the third game, the player goal is to collect as much money as possible and bankrupt everyone else. There can be 2 to 8 players who will go around the board. If they land on empty property, they can buy it with a specific amount. If they land on owned property, they will have to pay rent. When a player passes the start, they will get 300 in cash. As a twist, there is a number in the white square. After getting this number, the player will not move and have to draw an event card.
Thank you.
So hello everyone, we are Team Block Party, and through these weekly assignments we developed these 3 different game models which use the same basic components. And we think that the process was interesting and we got a better understanding of DSM, and you will tell more about that.
Okay, so basically we chose to demonstrate the possibilities of DSM by utilizing only a handful of different objects, relationships, and connections to create 3 very different kinds of board games, just to show that our model can be used with basically anything.
Yes, the templates that were in the meta edit were used in these, so with a few changes we got these great models. Yes.
Team Block Party!
Hello, we are Pöhinä.io, a group of ambitious young students who want to add more entertainment to all of our lives with our fun and fascinating games. Currently, we offer 3 amazing digital board games that will surely bring joy to any kind of social gatherings. Next, we are going to familiarize you how our 3 games, Jallutähti, Pojo and Trivial Spruit, are to be played. Jallutähti is a family-friendly game where you join the quest for searching for the desirable Jallu bottle. You compete with other players and try to find Jallu bottle as fast as you can while venturing in Jyväskylä. In Pojo, you try to gather as many points as you can by flipping the special coins in the variable steps. The player who has collected 100 points fastest wins. This quiz is for sure going to increase your general knowledge. Players compete by answering the questions on the board. Questions are categorized by difficulty level, so players can think strategically which path to take on the board. Now you have got a sneak peek and introduction to our games. May you have any questions or want to try to play the games yourself? Please feel free to talk to any of our team members. This is Pöhinä.io, and we want to create the most entertaining games in the world.
Hello, as mentioned, we are Pöhinä.io, and we have developed a model through domain-specific modeling to model pretty much any kind of turn-based board game where a player's movement is restricted by the throw of a dice. So through DSM we identified as the higher level abstractions to be the positions in the board, interactable objects which are located on those positions, and how players interact with them basically. And in our model we also consider the possibility of having different paths connecting different positions in the board, so it's very flexible and you can use it to implement into very wildly different kind of implementations as shown there. And yeah, through DSM it will allow us faster programmatic implementations to develop basically any kind of a board game with the same kind of game logic and following with the same set of components in the game. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing Pöhinä.io.
We are Consiglio Ludum, and we created this game called ECMO, which is, well, we started the game design by taking the pen and paper traditionally and started to think what's the most played game in the children group in the whole world. So we came up the idea with the memory game and thought we should teach the children more languages and the vocabulary. So our game does actually that, and well, we through the game proceeds with some additional features using DSM, and the DSM helps to develop the more features and add to the game more. Well, can you fill up with me? But more things, and the level proceeds while the game gets harder and the words get harder and stuff like that. Sorry, I can't. I'm a little nervous right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, you want to continue or do we do the big
Thank you.
Hi, we are Chain Games and proud to present our newest product, Stockchain. Stockchain is a virtual board game which exploits blockchain technology. It is a financial game that is innovative, fun, but also educational. The main idea of the game is to buy stocks, increase the value of stocks, gain wealth, and finally win the game. To get a better image of the game, let's watch few examples from the gameplay. Player uses smart device to roll the dice. In this case, the dice gives the number 3, which leads the player to end up the Nokia screen. If the stock is available, the player can decide whether to buy or auction the stock. In the next case, the player throws a 5 and ends up the financial news. The news affect the gameplay by commanding the player to do certain activities or by controlling certain stock rates randomly. There are 2 ways to decide the winner of the game. In the survival mode, the last player standing is the winner, but in the limited time mode, the player with the most money wins as the time runs out. Blockchain is utilized by verifying the transactions and controlling the stock rates. If you got interested, ask Chain Games for more information.
Hello everybody. I'm the manager of Chain Games and we presented game. We used DSM to create game. We made a language to make our game development process fast and easy. We used MetaEdit Plus and its types as companies, and each company has lots of function inside it. For example, I want to tell you Boolean flag, which tells you if somebody has arrived to company. If non-player has arrived to company, then company offers 15% of its value to player who first arrives to company. If player decides not to buy it, an auction starts when every player can buy the offer. Second player arrives to same company, then he needs to buy service of company. And then it increases value of company and cash goes to the owner. That's all I want to tell you. But with DSM, we can make different variations for different segments. I want to tell you, in Sweden, we actually sold this game. We use IKEA, Volvo, for example, there.
Chain Games.
And how much time do I have?
You have no time, so this one.
Please.
And they still want to continue, so go.
So think about how much sponsors we would get. I want your money, and I want you to invest us. Think about Nokia wants to be in our game. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Battle of Agronix is a 4-player adventure role-playing board game with elements of skill, luck, and the need of ambition to conquer the prosperous land of Agronix. Players' goal is to acquire castles and to survive. The game features 4 different characters with their unique strengths. There is Kamunk, the wizard, Antero, the knight, Ulmuk, the orc, and Yotul, the elf. Players wander on the path, collecting gold, watching out for thief trolls, and searching for the next castle to conquer. Upon arriving to a castle, players must use their gold to become the master of the castle. But if the castle is already taken by another master, they must go to an epic battle. In the battle, players play rock, paper, scissors to find the one who attacks. The round's winner attack power is diminished by loser's defense power, and some hits the target's health points. Loser has a chance to counter-attack with the same amount back if they toss the dice and get the right number to match their movement power. The battle is over when the loser's health points run out. The winner of the battle gets to keep the castle and get some of the gold from the loser. And the player who conquers all the castles wins the whole game.
Thank you. We are Team Agron. So we basically have this board game that is an epic adventure through the land of Agronix.
And we made 3 versions of the game. There is World at War, 3 Space Rumble, and this medieval version.
So I, as a product manager of Team Agron, want to welcome you all to play our game by saying, if you like to play board games, you will love Battle of Agronix.
Battle of Agronix.
We are Playozo, and we actually reinvented the wheel. Everyone knows Star of Africa, and we created a meta model to build that game into your city. And you can change the transportation, like roads, trams, and metro in Helsinki, and only roads here in Jyväskylä, or whatever. And the meta model is great for other cities to do their own version, or countries. The same model works for everyone.
And Lei also, thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Joni. Here's Markus, Veli-Matti, and Eija, and we are Team Kronos. So we wanted to innovate on the concept of digital card games, and we wanted to use blockchain as a major part for the game. We wanted to innovate on the ways how cards can be utilized for different kinds of game modes. If you want to know more about how we use DSM to build our concepts, you are welcome to come to our number 3 stand over there.
Team numero 3. Well done. Thank you very much.
This is a rat. Using the complex mechanism of MetaModel, we transformed this common rat into a sophisticated rat in the brand new game Rat Pack, where you are the rat. And you do what the rats do best, collect cheese. To be crowded as the Rat King, you can steal, you can snatch, you can object, you can gamble, you can destroy, or you can be extreme and summon something unspeakable. Cat, to destroy your enemies. In the end, only one rat remains. Make sure it's you. In Rat Pack. Now at the Nagora building. Go check it out now.
Hi, so there was a demonstration of our game, and we used DSM to model the actual cards. Then we used it to model the game logic. So basically we have a slightly complex game, but meta modeling made it relatively easy. And well, we created a meta model that can basically present any card game, and used it to create the actual model of our game, which can be seen on our poster at our stand. We also have a physical and digital demo going, and some chocolates, so come visit us at our stand. Thank you.
Rat Pack and the cheese and chocolate. Team number 8 should be here now. And after this is
Hello, we are Team Exhibitor, and this is our vision. Is this you during the boring Friday night drinking games? Do you want to experience something new while still getting drunk out of your mind? We introduce you to our newest innovation in the board game industry, Beer Hunt. This revolutionary product will get you wasted in no time, while also fixing all your real-life problems. It pays your bills, does your taxes, and gets rid of that pesky back pain you had for months. In our game, we are utilizing the newest technologies with traditional board game concept, generating a totally new game where cheating is no longer a possibility. If you're a wimp, or you don't consume alcohol for religious or other reasons, we still got you. We sell variations for brainiacs and gym rats. Get your heart rate going or brain cells working overtime with Quiz Hunt or Fishy Hunt. Thank you, and remember, drink in moderation, or not at all.
Hello, we are team number 8, or better known as Exhibitor,
and we have revolutionized the board game industry by removing the ability to cheat. And we do this by using blockchain technology where your score is put into an immutable ledger. And this means that by the end of the game you are able to know for sure who has the exact amount of points. We have done 3 games based on this concept. First, which is a beer hunt, but if you don't drink beer, we of course got you covered and have 2 more variations out of that using the same logic. The second game is physio hunt, and third game is then this quiz hunt. So we got you covered and are able to do these games using DSM. Thank you.
Beer hunt.
Team Nice Game. We have made our Master of IT board game by applying domain-specific modeling with the modeling tool MetaEdit Plus. We have made 3 versions of our board game. First version is the basic version of the game, as you can see here. Then we have second version, memory cards included, and third version is the like exam. Players need to answer questions, and if you know the right answer, you become a master of IT. And we have thought about how we can use blockchain in our board game, and we designed a game that when you play the game, the progress is recorded in the ledger.
The game is actually planned for pre and after party for Dumpy student society, and it easily can be transformed to other student societies or communities. So come and play the game to stand 16. Thank you.
Team number 16, thank you.
Who here has played Snake and Ladders? Raise your hand. Who here has played Snakes and Ladders? Just few of us? Alright, no problem. Hi guys, we are Team Stab.
I'm Sanni.
I'm Tuukka. I'm Arttu.
And I'm Biplav. So our game is based on Snakes and Ladders, as I said, and few of you have played, so you know the idea. But we've used domain-specific modeling for this, and then what we've done is first we started with Google Drawing, and then we made a drawing of what we are going to do and what idea we have. Rather than coming with the idea of a game first and then building a model in Meta Edit Plus, we came with the idea of having entities and then just rearranging them so that we can have same base model and use the same idea for different games. Our idea is to have as many games as possible so that if investors come to us, we have not only 3 but like 10s and 20s of games. So that is basically how we work. So bring your money to us. We're there. If you want to know more about the games, we're all ears.
Team stuff. Thank you so much.
Next after them, 24.
Hi, welcome aboard. Around the World is an adventurous game where you can travel around to find new, amazing places. The game is a 45-minute game for 2 to 4 players. Around the World series includes 3 different boards, which you can play with your friends. How to play the game? First, you roll the dice, and then you move on the board. When you land on a certain destination around the route, you get to pick a colored card. Red cards are travel related. They can contain, for example, a free flight. Green cards contain money, but you need to watch out for pickpockets. And blue cards can be your worst nightmare or a key to your win. If you land on a star, you have a chance to buy a souvenir with 100 coins. If you manage to collect 3 different souvenirs first, you are the winner.
I'm Emmi, here's Jasmin, Lotta and Aatu, and we're here to present our board game and talk more about the DSM side. So we focused on 2 key things about DSM, which was the high level of abstraction. Since we didn't start coding from scratch, we could use meta modeling at the high level, and instead of writing the code, we could actually come up with the game. And after this, if we get more money, we can start coding the game. And the reuse side of meta modeling is we came up with 3 different boards, and they all can use the meta model that is presented on our poster there. And actually we have developed our own language, which is called Yale ML. So it's a modeling language done by Lotta here, our wizard. And we use the model to create rules between the actors and objects, so the cards and the players. And this way of work allows us to expand the model for more game ideas, so we can use it for boards, or then we can tune around the world collecting food or clothes or other items. And we have 2 levels in our game, so come and join us to stand 14 with some Oreos. Thank you.
Team number 14, thank you. Thank you so much. And here's the money. Visa. Thank you, team.
13.
And this guy's team number 13. 13.
Team Shamat is a group dedicated to bringing people together through the most epic entertainment experiences. In this video, we will present to you the most exciting games of Spring 2020. The games were developed by using the principles of domain-specific modeling. Based on one model, we came up with 3 amazing games. The first game coming out this spring is Shamat Know-How. It is a trivia game with 6 categories. The twist is that the questions become harder depending on the number on the dice. Luckily, the award becomes better too. By answering harder questions correctly, the player moves on the board faster and gets a better chance of winning. The second game is targeted towards the youngest in the family. Shamat Adventure Junior is a story-based game in which the players take part in a scavenger hunt. The goal of the game is to reach the treasure by answering questions and completing tricky tasks to continue their journey. However, the player must be aware that there are some obstacles on the way. The player has to be careful not to wake the werewolf of the forest. The third game is Shamat Chit Chat. Shamat Chit Chat is a team game with the objective of reaching the finish line by explaining words within the team. The team rolls the dice to find out which of the 6 categories the team will be explaining and guessing words from. One player of the team explains the words as others guess for 60 seconds. According to their results, the team gets to move on the board. Thank you for watching. We are excited to meet you and tell you more about our games at our stand later. So hi everyone, we are Team Shamat, and as we said in the video, our goal is to bring people together through the most epic entertainment experiences. And so to start our project, we came up with a very extendable base model according to the principles of DSM, and we made it into a very abstract level model that only included the very basic elements. So, for example, the players, the cards, and the relationships between the elements and such. And by using this model, we were able to make all of these 3 games, and of course the model can be used to create even more amazing games in the future with high quality and efficiency. But yeah, to learn more and to play our games, please visit our stand and come and invest.
Come
Thank
and
you.
invest. Shamat Games.
We used MetaEdit to design a very simple version of our version of African Takti. We made a very high-level model, and from there we designed 3 different versions of the game.
Yeah, so we used MetaModel to create the basic board, but then, as explained here, we have 3 models of the game. The basic game is called, well, can be called many names, but Doctor of Science was the first name. The idea is that you answer correctly in each of those universities, and then you have a final battle, like basically 3 1-on-1s if you have 4 players, against 1 1-on-1 versus each of those players. And you have to win more than you lose. But what's interesting about the game is that, well, actually in all those games, you have cheat posts, so you are actually allowed to cheat. So you can, instead of going straight from place A to like university, you can take a detour and visit cheat post. And if you answer question correctly there, you can cheat in various ways in your next question. But yeah.
Yeah, so come check out our stand. We're group number 13 if you have any more questions. Thank you.
Yeah.
Game builder. Team number 17.
Hello everyone. So by applying the principles of the domain-specific modeling, we were able to create a card game. In the video, we used poker, which uses a 52 card deck and the poker rules when comparing hands. But you can change the game. You can use any kind of deck you want. For example, a deck which consists of animal cards, and you compare donkeys to snakes or so. You don't have to use chips, you can use something else like real money, and so on. And also, in the digital version of our game, that we use blockchain technology to actually save all the transactions and exchanges of cards between players. So there's no way to cheat, and different online playing houses like Betson and PokerStars can actually use the same tables, so you can play in the same table from different domains. So, we are team number 15, and we are Team Poker. Thank you.
So, hello everyone, we are Team Expedient and my name is Simo and here's Vladimir, Hanna and Mamia. So, our goal was made fun and educational board game for a whole family and especially for children. And why we use domain-specific modeling that helped us to create a game model that is easily modified to our target. DSM was also a great method to use because after making one good model, it was easy to add elements to the model and create new model versions. So we create 3 different games for different age groups. And using DSM gave us good experience of modeling that highlighted the importance of proper modeling when designing new products. So if you want to know more about the game, come to stand 17 and we'll tell you about more. Thank you.
Block break.
We are DB Games, and our mission is to make the very best digital board game experience. Have you ever thought about using a game to promote your company's business? With our games, you can stand out from your competitors and create new ways for your customers to learn about your business. Our high-end technology together with domain-specific modeling make our game development and deployment process fast and easy, meaning that our shipping times are extremely low. We use the load balancing abilities of global cloud service providers to make latency-free gaming experience possible for your customers all over the world. Our games can be easily modified for the needs of other companies and fields. Now, let's talk about our first game. Our first game is called Postal Battle, and it could be used by logistic companies. Postal Battle is a digital card game in which you are a postal worker and your task is to deliver packages to the correct distribution centers. The player who has the Helsinki distribution center card plays it and starts the game. Then, players play a card one after the other in clockwise order. Players can either play Helsinki package cards in numerical order or play one of the following distribution center cards: Tampere, Jyväskylä, or Lappeenranta. The game ends when one of the players has played all their cards. Let the postal battle begin.
Alright, so hi everyone, we are DB Games and we used DSM to create a meta model of our game, and the meta model contains 3 main concepts, which are objects, relationships and groups. And the objects are the playing cards themselves. Then the relationship represent how the cards are played inside the game, and then the groups represent like the suites in a normal deck of cards. And the model can be used for other games as well, so it could be used for like making games for railway companies or food delivery companies.
Yeah, and we have a demo of our game, so come and visit our stand to try it out. And feel free to invest your money in Postal Battle. Thank you.
team number 18, the 404 company. And the idea for a game came from the classic board game Battleship that probably most of you have played in the childhood. And we modeled the idea using domain-specific modeling, and from that basic model we created the 3D version, and we did that by adding the depth element and some other features to it, and the new kind of explosions and impact in the game board. And that is only the first model and the basic model, and from that we can actually make numerous new versions of the game and add different features to it. And to give you some idea, we can add different weapons to the game, we can variate the game board, make some new features to it, and we can even make a whole different theme. For example, it can be airplanes instead of submarines. So that's our project.
Thank you. Attack Submarine 3D.
Yes.
The idea of the game is that player 1 comes up with some category, for example car brands. Now player 2 tries to name agreed amount of subjects from that category. If player 2 makes it, it's player 1's turn to name subjects. Whenever one fails to name enough subjects, he'll get punished. For example, he may have to drink. After failure, it's another player's turn to come up with some category.
Okay, the category is African cities. Name 3 or you have to take a shot.
Okay. Nairobi, Addis Ababa and Mogadishu. Your turn.
I don't know any.
You have to take a shot.
Hello, I'm now playing the category game online with my friend Jukka. So first I will choose a category and then I will write 3 United States universities. And my answer is wrong. I have to drink again.
All the way here.
All the way, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, hello. We are Team Reverse Code and my name is Simo. Here is Topias, Eetu, Satkar and Jukka. And we created a digital version of the popular drinking game where you have to guess or know things in certain categories. And we utilized domain-specific modeling so that we can create multiple variations of the game, and we could create different kinds of rules, different kinds of like a timers for example, how long you have to guess or know the things in said categories. And with domain-specific modeling, we could easily create a quick prototype of the game.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Team reversing the code. Congratulations. Congratulations. Drinking man. Good. More money. Okay.
were inspired to do the Blood Diamond by Monopoly. So if you know how to play Monopoly, then you know how to play Blood Diamond. But we decided to do it a little bit differently, so we took out the jails and the properties and the estates, and we put in the diamond hunt. And we decided to use the DSM modeling at first for visualize the board, so we all know what it would look like, and then we did the first frame with that. And after we had built the object and the relationship to types and rows, then that frame was shared to everyone in the team, and they could build the variations, and then we realized that it was working because you could use it, and that's how the DSM model was used.
Yeah, and by utilizing DSM, it was quite easy to make slight variations to the original layout, and we actually have 3 different versions available. And the fundamentals of the game are the same in all of the 3 versions, but there are some slight modifications that affect the flow of the game. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Blood Diamond, thank you so much. Team 20.
Hello everyone, this is Ilari, Santu, Elmeri, and Roberto. Together we are GameLux. We wanted to design a game that worked using mechanics that were kind of like fight character to character, similar to Hearthstone, or taking elements from Dungeons and Dragons, for example, or MTG Magic the Gathering. So what we wanted to do was like, these games require a lot of play testing and a lot of balancing, right? Because if you have very powerful card, you need to rebalance it. So DSM allowed us to create objects like a hand of cards, a deck, the cards themselves, that you could literally put them in the model and connect them however you wanted with different kinds of relationships and allow them to create different kinds of interactions. Some of them using dice, some of them without dice. You can change the type of theme also. You can use, instead of using tech titans, for example, you can use typical fantasy heroes, for example, or something else. So if you want to play test a game, please drop by to stand number 12. There's also cookies if you want. And if you want to leave us your Pekka dollars, please do so. Thank you.
Hi Amy, do you remember the game that we played when we were kids? Snakes and Ladders.
Hi Tony. Of course I remember. I love that game.
That's great. They have that available now online. It's called Jungle Adventure. It has power-ups and all kind of new stuff.
That's awesome. I have some free time now. Wanna play?
Nice. Let's go.
I'm so excited.
Hello everyone, we are Jungle Geeks and our game is Jungle Adventure, which is inspired by Snakes and Ladders. We used DSM to create 3 different models from our game, and we also used it a lot to include the blockchain technology in our game, which we are very proud of. So come to our stand and find out more and join the adventure.
Number 20.
Number 20, yeah.
Number 20, thank you.
Thank you all. It's really nice to see you all here. We are Team COSA number 10, and we have our board game, also named COSA, for you to play here today. We have used DSM to create 2 different models of the game you can try here today, and we have also included a specific modeling language for this product. We can change the game rules, we can change the elements of the game, we can change the pieces in the game. Everything is modifiable by the usage of the DSM, domain-specific modeling language. We also do have preparations for blockchain technology, so you can save your game models, save your rules, save your board games that you have played previously. If you have any questions or you're interested to hear more, we are here for you today, and you can try our game, which is actually playable at number 10, right over there in the corner. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And now I please ask the judges to come up. And And I remember that when we started, I didn't say who I am. I'm Pekka Abrahams, a professor in this university. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming here. And responsible for this course. Let's start with Johan, your first impressions.
Yeah, impressive, yes. And I was a bit confused about your level, quality level, and it is high, but now I'm sure that I'm going to find 25 good ones.
All right. He is an architect, so they say what they say. Okay, good. And our philosopher.
Yeah, I'm a board game inspired. I'm really inspired by board games in general, and you have done something, well, as I said, mind-blowing in the beginning, so well done, exciting.
All right, Mr. DSM.
I have to say that I'm surprised on the level of depth, but also that it's very hard for us to find a good one, because there is so many aspects that you have. Some has a marketing aspect, some has clearly the technical aspect, the modeling aspect that I like personally, but there are also money aspects, cookie aspects, and things like that. But if one thing I have learned, being 25 years in the industry, the thing that everyone should do is exactly what the last team did. They have only one word. The name of the company and the name of the product is the same. If you have a small company, doesn't make sense you to have a different name for the company and the product, because the audience don't listen to that. Keep it just simple, one word. The COSA was a good thing, I think.
But others are building a consortium, so they
sure. But when you are a startup, you don't have yet.
Thank you, Juha-Pekka and the team. Okay, now I release you in the presentations. You have the money, spend it. And for those who are in the audience, come see me, and I will give you 100,000 Pekka dollar to spend on anything. So let's get roll. I put the music on, and the team will start going around the room right now. No, let's go. Lähdetään menemään ja jengi käy ihan relaxilla. Tässä on jotain. Joo.
En ole vielä saanut, mutta käynnissä. Joo, nappasin nimesin sen.
Are you in charge of recording?
tilaisuus on niin pitkä, että te saatte kuvaa. Joku kuva näyttää päälle.
Ja siinä on Jonille.
Sille, että niitä saa ottaa täältä pois.
Joo, saa ottaa pois. Siis voit antaa ihan... Tai.
läsnäolon.
Englanniksi vai suomeksi?
Hän saattaa ihan koukaa. Saattaa niinku tälleen puhua vaan tuohon niinku ottaa mikkiä.
Joo. Niin englanniksi. Joo. Joko se nauhoittaa? Okay. So we are Team Game Noodle. So we are Team Game Noodle, as it is here, and we designed 3 board games based on DSM, domain-specific modeling, and the goal was to utilize the DSM, to create several variations of a board game based on one single concept. And the technology we used is blockchain and the DSM, and all game actions are stored in a blockchain database, so it's an immutable ledger of transactions. And here are the 3 variations we have. The game 1 is about universities, game 2 is about bars, and game 3 is about agora. And the basic principle of every game is that you move around the board, you roll dice, and there are set of places you can go, and every time you go into a set place, for example here, you pick a card, there's questions about the topics of every game, and if you answer it right, you get a point and you move forward. And there are also cheat points you can access, and there, if you answer right on the question, you get a cheat on your next turn. And first player to 10 points wins the game. And there can be modifications to the rules done by DSM, so it allows us to easily do some modifications. For example, this game has different options in the classrooms. And that is about all I can tell now. Thank you.
Esityksen aika 2 minuuttia englanniksi.
Joo.
Ja nyt saa mikki tuosta käteen ja sieltä.
Väinö, esitetäänkö meidän yhdessä?
Ai, meillä olisi nyt esitys.
Joo.
Kyllä, me varmaan esitetään. Joo.
Yeah, so here we are with we're team 1. We are team Agronics, and the game is named Battle of Agronics. We have these characters that are each are unique, and they have their different skill set, and they battle against each other when they encounter in the battlefield. We have these castles that are needed to conquer to win the game. Yeah. The game ends when some player gets all the castles, and if everyone but the winner loses all the gold is the other way to end the game. And basically the moving in the game board is one step on each turn, and dice is needed only in the battle, so don't confuse with that. So when two players encounter, they take on each other, and the battle is done by rock paper scissors, and the winner of the rock paper scissors hit with their attack power, and the loser's defense power is subtracted from it, and it hits the loser's health points. And basically the one who runs out the health points lose the battle, and the winner gets the gold. Loser goes to the graveyard, and if they're battling of a castle, the winner gets the castle. So that's basically it. Thank you.
All right. Sorry. So, 2 minutes presentation that will be recorded.
All right.
We will take care of that. Then you can take this if you're going to be the spokesperson.
Okay. Oh, I have to be in the camera?
You don't have to.
Okay. All right. Okay, let me get ready.
So, 2 minutes starts now.
So we are Team Stab, our 3 games collectively are known as the Untrustable, the series. So the series name is Untrustable, and we have 3 games: Rockets and Meteors, Territory Takeover, and Property Takeover. So Rocket and Meteors is something like this. So you move through the islands, and you have rockets that let you go to skip the other islands, other planets. And then you have meteors that you have to come down through. So you basically roll the dice, and then wherever you land, it's basically like snakes and ladders. And the snakes, okay, closer. Snakes and ladders. And the second one is.
HDMI, you can plug it in.
All right. Do you have HDMI here? Yeah. Do you have it here? Okay. The first game was that one, and the second game is this one, and where like you choose one of 4 primary colors. So there are 4 players, and they choose their primary colors. There can be more than 4 players as well, and then it's like a box from numbered 1 to 100, like the snakes and ladders. So if you land in the plot, then the plot is yours. Nobody else can buy it. So before you reach 100, the person with the most colored blocks wins. That is the basic idea. And the third idea is the similar thing with the 100 blocks, and then you move through the dice, and you buy a property, and if somebody else lands in the property after they can either pay rent or you can sell the property to them, and that is how it works. Yes, that is all.
Okay, thank you very much. Okei, eli 2 minuuttia englanniksi.
Okei.
Esittely. Saat näkyä kamerassa, jos haluat, ei haittaa. Et halua, saat valita.
Haluat saada niinku äänenä vai?
Mä voin olla äänenä, joo, toki. Aloitakaa. Okay. So, here's our team's project. We are Team Kronos. We have created the Alticard. It's a 1v1 dystopian, future-based, technology-based card game, similar to Hearthstone and other digital card games that you have already seen in the market, but with a twist. They cards, and you can mine the cards, you can exchange cards, you can buy the cards, you can sell the cards according to your own
Okay, no niin. So we are Team Block Party, and here is our poster, and here you can see our 3 different game models, and these games use the same basic component, which are bone and the die and the player and this board, and also event card and money. And we have also here demonstration of one of our games, Eurotrip, and maybe we can briefly explain this game. Would you like to explain it?
So here we have this demonstration board. The game name is Eurotrip. So there is like minimum player is 2 players, and you can start from anywhere. You can start, for example, from Helsinki or in Paris, and the idea is to go around this board once, and you have this starting money, which is 400 euros. So idea is to go around it once, so you can go around by flying, which costs money. For example, from Paris to Brussels, it costs 100 euros, but you can go also with by throwing the die. So if you get number 5, you can go from Paris to Brussels. So who is the first one to go around, to go back to their own city, wins this game. So it's there is a lot of chance in this game, and there you can when you get to the next city, you have to draw an event card, and there might be, for example, you get 300 euros or lose all money or something like that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tekeekö tässä pystyy pistää tohon noin? Joka ikinen minuutti.
Ja tökkää samalla tän tuonne seinään.
Okei.
2 minuuttia.
Okay. So the idea of the blood diamond is to try to bankrupt the other players, and you play by going to the board, and there are different kinds of caves. There are regular ones, and then there's the mega caves. You can also hit the government assistant one, where you gain some more diamonds, or if you get caught for trading the black diamond ones, which are the black ones on the board, then you lose half of your diamonds. There are a couple twists. If you get enough mega caves, you can build secret tunnels and go through the board by paying 1 diamond each time. Or then there are just the plain steps where nothing happens and you're safe. If you have to pay for another player rent, there's no possibility to take debt. You will die, and they will get your diamonds. The one who bankrupts you gets everything you have. And the aim is to bankrupt every single other player and be the best one. And it's very bloody, so there's no mercy and there's no jails. You die, and then you lose.
Yes, kiitoksia. Nyt me alkaa pressi tässä näin.
Kyllä, pressitilaisuus.
Joo.
Okei.
Jos sä haluat, sä voit vetää sen intro ja mä voin esitellä sitä peliä.
Mulla on tää HDMI-piuha.
Me vaan. Joo. Katsotaan miten se toimii.
Jos te haluatte näyttää ruutua niin HDMI-piuha, niin siinä kohtaa kun te näytätte, niin pistäkää se sisään. Selittäkää vaikka julisteesta ja tälleen.
Okei, selvä.
Okei, eli 2 minuuttia englanniksi ja saattaa mikin siitä käy. Niin on, tää on siis ihan
Okay, we are DP Games and we make games to companies so they can promote their businesses. Our first game is Postal Battle. Here you can see the metal model of the game. So first there are distribution centers on the below. You must play first Helsinki, and after that you can play this distribution center cards, and after that you can play these. And and these cards go top of the each distribution center cards. And here you can see the visualization which will be included in the game later on.
Okay, so here is how the game actually works in digital form. So it can be played by how many people you want, and the cards that fit are outlined with these blue outlines, and then you can play the card like this. And the idea is to play all the distribution center cards and then stack up the postal numbers in incremental order. So the player who gets rid of all of their cards wins the game. So yeah, I don't know if there is anything else to really say about it, but yeah, it works, and thank you.
Meillä loppuu nyt tää akku silleen, että täytyy aina kun pystyy vaan lataamaan ne ladat. Joo.
Okei. No niin. Seuraava tiimi. Ja 2 minuuttia englanniksi ja pelin kertominen.
Jos on jotain näytettävää tossa, niin meillä on HDMI-piuha, mihin se voi laittaa, jos teillä on HDMI.
Laitetaanko me sitä digitaalista vai?
Me voitais kyllä yksikin näyttää.
Tosiaan 2 minuuttia sitten, jos ehdittekö näyttämään.
Okei.
Laita sitten, kun voitte selittää. Selittäkää eka tämä näin.
Hello, so our game here is Rat Pack. We are team Lucky 7. What you do in Rat Pack is that you are a rat and you collect cheese. We have 4 different types of cheeses plus additional rainbow cheese of any type. When you get 2 cheeses of that same type, you change them to 1 cheesecake point. If you have 3 cheeses of the same type, you get 2 points. However, there are also some action cards that you can use. You start your turn by drawing a card. After that, you can choose to play 1 action card or commit in 1 action, such as changing the cheeses to cheesecake points. What you need to be careful of is that if the cat is around, if you are out of cards in your hand, the cat is gonna eat you because you are a rat. If you wanna get rid of the rat, you need to use Cat Toy. Cat Toy will get rid of the cat, and you draw 2 cards as a reward. In the end, when only 1 player remains, he can draw the rest of the deck as a reward and exchange any cheeses they have to cheesecake points. When the game ends, the points are counted, and the one who has collected most of the cheesecakes will be crowded as the Rat King or Rat Queen. That's the idea here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tokens in the blockchain, and we know who won the game.
Okei. Eli
Kevyt setup teillä.
kyllä 2 minuuttia englanniksi vapaa esitys.
Okay, so here we have Beer Hunt, which is the world's first game where you cannot cheat. Why you cannot cheat is because we have actually used revolutionary blockchain technology together with board game. How the game works is we have 4 teams here because this is a drinking game. We don't have any dice or anything that can get lost during the game. So we all go to the first step here. And in the first step, we pick a task. So for example, we have do 2 handstand. So you have to stand on your hands. And the team who can do it best or fastest, they win the point. And the point is, we give the points in as beers, but instead of having the beer right away, we actually save the point to blockchain, which means that by end of the game, you have immutable ledger of who has how many points. Now we have finished the game, we had 24 beers, which means that it's easy to get from the store the right amount of beers. And by end of the game, we can check which team has how many points, and we can give out the beers. And the problem this solves is that first of all you cannot cheat. Second of all, during these kind of drinking games, you might have the problem that you might have drinking your own drinks at the same time. So by end of this game, you might not remember what's the score. So using the blockchain technology, we have solved this issue. Thank you.
Mites? No niin.
2 minuuttia englanniksi. Ja ei oo pakko olla tää kamerassa, jos ei halua.
Okei. Mitä? Ai otan tämän.
Vai esitellä tätä mä siirrän kamerassa.
Okay, this is our key game, and here is our meta model, which our game is based on. It has starting point, end point, and basic points, and then treasure points on the map. And there are 3 variations developed based on this meta model. You can treasure hunt, collect carrots, or collect apples. And we bring blockchain technology to our board game, and transactions in game happen with cryptocurrencies, and the surveillance of game rules is attached to the normal contracts. Joo, varmaan.
Niin monta noppaa.
Meidän pitäisi keskeyttää ottaa esitys tähän videolle.
Joo. Mä tuun tänne taas. Mä tykkään tästä teidän setistä.
Kyllä, eli 2 minuuttia englanniksi.
Haluan pois täältä. Perfect. Näyks mä?
Vähän lähemmäksi välillä.
Okay. So, onko alkanut jo? Okay, so here we have the game called Kosa. It's an epic medieval strategy game with 2 or more players depending on how many players you will have there. The point of the game is to battle another army and try to get to the victory point with as much morale as possible. You're playing the game by utilizing cards for each round, and you're doing different moves such as march, build, rest, and burn. There are multiple different ways you can do, and in the end, each card consumes a different amount of resources. And when you battle in the end, the cards have consumed your morale, so you will throw as many dice as you have morale left. And each dice that has 5 or more will be the victorious, or will be the successful throw. And the more successful throws you get, the better the more you deduct the morale from the enemy. And the one that loses all the morale will be the loser, and the one that still reigns and is alive will be the winner. We have used a different domain-specific modeling language to create different models of the game. We have used it to create new pieces, new shapes, new tiles, and alternative rules such as combat conditions, victory conditions, and code dravings. Right now, today, we have created 2 different games that are available for you to try: a square and a hexagon. And everything in this game is designed to be as extendable and modifiable as possible. So in the future, if you want to create extension packs, maybe for a new era, new rules, everything's possible. And if you want to save your progress or game into the cloud, you can use blockchain to save it in there without us needing to host and server infrastructure by ourselves. So you can take your game with you, continue somewhere else, and play maybe with someone from other side of the world. The possibilities are endless, and so are the replayability value.
So if you have any questions about the game, I'm more than happy to answer them, and please come to play.
Koska saadaan pizzat? Just generating it. Ei, mut siis toiselta kurssilta. I guess it's our turn to... Yeah, maybe I have another zip though. Put away the Red Bull thing.
What? Our product placement.
Yeah, hello.
Who wants to do it?
Yeah, I can do it. Hey, hello internet.
So 2 minutes in English.
2 minutes in English. Yeah, nice. Hi, we have built this epic mobile turn-based asynchronous board game. You want to become the ultimate emperor of the stars, and you get one planet at the beginning, and then you're gonna have different options to invade the stars, like 2 turns this direction, 3 turns to go to this planet, and so on. Yeah, and therefore you're gonna invade different stars and try to compete against other players. One really nice thing is that we have a local gaming mode where you can just play for yourself, and we have a blockchain infrastructure for playing with your friends. Because it's distributed just between your friends, you can play without us having a server, and so you can just have as many games as you want without having advertisement on it, because we don't have any costs. Yeah, and maybe you drop by later when we generated it, and therefore back to the internet.
If you have something to show over the laptop, you can show it.
Oh no, I don't have HDMI. Just
okay.
Go ahead, yeah.
Nice. Thanks.
Ja tarvitaan toi USB-C HDMI adapteri.
Hey, it's time for your 2 minutes of fame. So language is English. 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm not sure I fit in the frame, but you can record the screen. Okay, so we are Game Lux. We created the game Tech Titans. The idea behind the game is to make fun of the, let's say, famous tech people in the world. So you have, for example, Mark Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel, Bill Gates, etc. They each have a skill that you can use, and then you have actions and bonus actions. So you have one hero card, and then you can have up to 5 bonus actions and card actions together. You can only do 1 action and 1 bonus action per turn, and the skill of the hero is considered a bonus action. In some actions, you might require to throw a die to confirm that you can actually execute the skill or not. And then in some cases, you might need to roll damage, in which case, whatever you roll, you add a modifier that's also in the hero's card to the damage. Whoever dies loses, whoever is alive at the end wins. We used DSM in a way that it represents the actual physical objects that we're interacting with. So you have cards, you have a hand, you have a deck, you have actions and bonus actions as well as dice. All of these are configurable. You can have a D20, or you can have a D6 or a D12 or D8 or whatever you want. The properties on the cards are easily modifiable. The relationships affect how the objects interact between themselves, and it makes the system overall quite flexible. You can also change the theme. If you don't want Tech Titans, you can make like Lord of the Rings or whatever else you want. So overall, it's quite reusable concept.
Very much. Thank you.
And
I found a bill in my pocket.
Thank you. Hotels. Yeah, so we can just scale.
We already gave one.
Hey. Who's going to be presenting?
I'm going.
Okay, so 2 minutes in English.
Yes.
2 minuuttia englanniksi. Ja voitte aloittaa.
Okay. Hello.
Yksi huomio. Jos te haluatte näyttää koneelta jotain, niin siinä vaiheessa kun haluatte, niin voitte käydä HDM, niin siinä se tulee suoraan.
No ei meillä on vaan se sama video. Mitä tuossa näkyy tuossa kamerassa?
Se pitäisi näkyä.
Että näkyy toi.
Okei, hyvä.
Ja mä voin ohjata sitä tonne, jos sä näyttää tuolta jotain, niin mä saan ohjata.
Okei, no me aloitetaan tuolta alhaalta. Hello, we are Boards and this is our game around the world. And we have 3 different versions. We have around the Europe and around North Europe. And the idea of the game is to collect 3 souvenirs that you can buy from the star destinations. You can buy the souvenir for 100 coins, and at the start of the game you have only 50 coins, so you have to collect money first. And there are also 3 special destinations that you can pick a card, and the green ones are money related, blue ones are random, and red ones travel related.
Yes, and then moving up to the poster. Here in the middle we have our modeling language called Yale ML, and this is our main model containing the game logic, and then there's 3 submodels for picking up the different cards, blue, red and green card, and it contains all the information about the cards which they may contain. So yeah, that's basically it.
Seuraava. Joo. Elikkä 2 minuuttia englanniksi ja tyyli on vapaa.
Tyyli on vapaa, täysin vapaa.
Ja sinne päin suunnilleen, mihin osoittelet kädellä, niin käännellään kamera.
Tarvitaan joku pitämään nyt. Mä tarvitsen molempia käsiä niin. Okay. Okay, so the idea is that first you pick a deck which to play with, and then you create a value table, and then you deal the cards. For this example, we're gonna use a normal deck and the poker rules. So you start by dealing five cards to each player, and then the player has 2 options. He can either exchange 1 card with another player, or he can challenge one of the other players. And to challenge, he has to beat some, in this case, chips. For example, 2 chips. The other player then can decide that he wants to accept that challenge, because they're gonna be comparing their hands by poker rules. So he's gonna accept, and then the winner of the comparison takes all the chips. And because we don't want so that only one player always has the best hand, both of the hands are actually then put back into the deck and shuffled, and both players are dealt 5 new cards. And the thing is that instead of accepting the challenge, the opposing player may decide that he wants to decline the challenge, but he still has to pay 1 chip. And then the turn goes to another player. And the domain-specific language idea is that you can play it with other decks. For example, deck of monsters and axes and weapons and shields. And then you, instead of comparing poker hands, you try to collect a monster, an armor, and a weapon, and then compare it to another player's monster, armor, and weapon. Thank you.
Thank you. Kielenä englanti, aikaa 2 minuuttia, tyyli vapaa.
Okei.
Ei ole pakko olla kamerassa, jos ei halua siinä esimerkiksi näin.
Ja saattaa mikin. Tarvitsen molempia käsiä esittää.
No. Okay, welcome to our stand, and our game is called IT Master. And this is a game board that consists of university courses, IT courses in information systems science. And here is bachelor and master's level courses and the thesis in the end.
And the game goes like the player throws the dice and goes forward in the game board to a normal square or a throwback square or a shortcut square. And the shortcut square means that the player will jump upper levels in the board, and the shortcut square means that he has to return back. And that's the basic model. And then we have this second model of the game that means that each player collects certain amount of courses like in the basic model, but when the player reaches a square it must be found from the separate board of memory cards. So the player that has all the courses passed and reaches the end is the winner. And then we have the third model of the game, and that model is that when the player reaches the square, he or she picks a question card, which is like an exam, and the card color is based on the color that where the game player is on the board. And with the right answer, the player can continue to the next round. With false answer, the player loses the turn. So that's basically the game. Thank you. Okei. Ei ollut muuten huomattu tota. Ihan hyvä huomio. Englanniksi?
Joo. Eli 2 minuuttia englanniksi.
Okei. Niin. Okei. Joo. Mitäs mä osaan kertoa? Peli-idea. Peli-idea vaan. Niin. Joo. Joo. Okei.
Okay, we have a building game called Block Brick. There are 3 levels of the game, so the game is suitable for small kids also. The game starts by taking a model card. This card shows you the model you have to build. Then you roll a dice, and the dice shows you how many bricks you can take. Smallest kids are only building with cubes, so the dice shows how many bricks they can take. But levels 2 and 3, the models are built with different shape of bricks. So after rolling a dice, you take cards from other stack, and these cards are showing you the bricks you can take. If you have luck, then you get bricks that fit to your model. But you can also have bricks that doesn't fit to your model at all. And that's when the trading part comes in. So if you get models that doesn't fit to your, you get bricks that doesn't fit to your model, you can exchange them in exchange area in level 2. So in level 2, that's for kids about 6 years old, older. You don't need money for exchanging the bricks. So you just put the brick you don't need to the exchange area, and then you can swap the brick with some other player. But in level 3, you have to earn these diamond cards to be able to go to bank to exchange the bricks. So the first player who gets his model ready is the winner. And the game depends on also on lottery luck, because the models vary in the number of bricks, and it also depends on what kind of cards you will have when taking cards from the stack. Okay, something else. Okei. Olikohan siinä kaikki?
Hyvin se meni.
Thank you.
Esittelijä noin 2 minuuttia ja englanniksi. Ja
näkeekö siitä?
Joo, kaikkea mihin halutaan näyttää, niin mä voin kääntää sitä. Täällä on pelilautaa ja julistettu, ja sitten täytyy näyttää niin.
No, mä en kyllä mahdu tähän. Voinko mä selostaa niinku tästä?
Sä voit
Okei, no niin. Onko tää päällä?
Joo,
Okay, so here we have a 3D version of the classic Battleship board game, and we used the domain-specific modeling to create it 3D, which includes depth and the ability to move the ships, as well as a larger blast radius as seen on the poster. This 3D element allows for way more psychological and strategical choices when the boats can move and the blast radius is larger. And here we have a simulation situation of a game moment. If player 1 would start. Alright, I'm gonna shoot my torpedo. The coordinates are D6 and the depth is 2.
So D6 and depth 2.
Yes.
In this version we are modeling the depth with these white blank boards with numbers. So D6 and depth 2 it hits and it takes 3 points.
And then we change the number from 5 to 2 because 5 minus 3 is 2. And now it's the other player's turn to shoot.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot to M18 and depth 2.
M18, depth 2. Oh no, it's a direct hit. Middle of the ship. And as we can see here, middle of the ship hit instantly destroys the boat.
So we take all the health points and the ship is destroyed. Thank you very much.
Voisi käydä tuolla viimeiset.
Joo, hyvä. Hyvin vedetty.
Kuuntele väliin, jos mä unohdan.
Jos teillä on jotain näytettävää tuossa, siinä vaiheessa näyttää, niin olettaa HDMI kiinni. Onko teillä tuossa läppäkänä näytettävää vai?
Ei.
Okei, jo sitten.
Meillä on vaan toi sitten.
Joo. Well.
Okay, hello and welcome to Playoso's game. Our game is called Star of the City, and basically we have one model, we have 3 variations, and we have limitless possibilities, because thanks to our meta model we can extend the game to any city in the world, because we already have all the elements in place, which is players, locations and roads. And the idea is that players move on the map and they try to they find money, or they find bandits who steal all their money, and if they find the biggest diamond and return it, they win. And there is great market potential for this game, because essentially it can be modeled to any city in the world. So we can sell our location points to different companies in the city. For example, now we have Sohvi and Harry's from Jyväskylä. But if another restaurant would like to be involved in our game, we could sell the spot. And when you expand this game to any city in the world, you can fit any company in the world. So the monetization potential is huge. We are Team Playoso, and this is Star of the City. Thank you.
lähtee pallo E5. Eli 2 minuuttia englanniksi.
Oho.
Tyylivapaa.
No niin.
Käännellään kameraa sen mukaan, mihin osoittelet kädellä, niin vähän suuntaan annat, niin otetaan sinne.
So, our team is Jungle Geeks, and our game is called Jungle Adventure. The game is inspired by the Snakes and Ladders, as you can see from the picture. This is the game board, and here we have the characters that are available to play. We have a little bit, there's a twist in the game. We use the blockchain and the token system, which you can use to buy power-ups from the auction. Here we have the model from our game. We have the board, the player and dice, pretty basics. But after every turn, you use tokens that are you can get from the game board, and you offer it to smart contract, which is the auction for the special powers. The special powers in our game are very powerful, and so you can generally want to gain a lot of tokens. There's 3 different versions of our game. The first one actually doesn't use the snakes and ladders mechanics, which are the lianas and waterfalls in our game. The first version is really basic version without them. Second version, there's also the waterfalls and lianas in addition to tokens. And the third version, where you can choose if you have the traditional dice or traditional dice and power-ups. So you can customize the game pretty much any way you want. So that's pretty much our game. Thank you.
Team number 21. Yes. Okay, hello. We are Chain Games and we invented stock chain game. There are 3 versions of this game. Local game, which is played under television. Online game, which is remote gameplay and just using phones. There's also third version, startup, where there is one space where you can open your own startup with your capital. The actual gameplay goes that if you go to the Nokia space, you are offered to buy 15% of the Nokia stocks of overall. You can either choose buy it or not to buy it. If you don't buy it, then an auction starts. Everybody is allowed to come to the auction. Okay, let's play that Joni just bought Nokia, and I'm walking to the Nokia, so I have to pay service for Nokia. It means that Joni gets the cash from me, and actually Nokia value raises. Then there are also news, taxes, and then dividend payment is there also. When you walk over dividend payment, you get dividend, and it depends on how much stocks you own. Any questions?
Eli 2 minuuttia, kieli englanti ja tyylivapaa.
Tarviiko esitellä tiimiä vai onko tää vaan suoraan asiaa?
Esitellään tiimiä ja sitten pelataan. Mikä peli?
Okay, so our team, reverse code, and our game is category game. So this might be familiar to quite a few of you.
And the basic idea of the game is pictured here on the flowchart, with players getting ready, and player 1 is selected, and he then selects a category. After this, it's player 2's turn to try to name some things in that category, and if the player manages to name the things, he becomes player 1, but if he fails to do so, he gets a penalty, and the penalty is something that the players have decided in advance. It could be taking a shot, it could be going to the snow without any shoes, anything basically. And then the round starts again. The DSM aspect of the game comes in different variations of the game, as in the category selection. There is an option to choose from many different categories, and the players are able to adjust the amount of things to be listed within that category. Variation 2 is that a timer can be added, so to make sure that the players have a limited time to answer, making the game a bit more suspenseful. And last, the penalty system that can be implemented if the players want to is the third variation of the game, and within that variation the players can choose the penalty. Here are some ideas of what the game would look like once it would be finished. Our demo isn't quite at this level, but here you can see what it could look like. The idea here is that traditionally this would have been played face to face, but with our game it can be played online. Thank you.
Eli 2 minuuttia aikaa, kieli englanti, ja jos haluatte näyttää jotain koneelta, niin sano siinä vaiheessa kun haluat, niin voit jakata HDMI.
Ei tarvi näyttää mitään koneita. Että ne kuvaa tosta noin.
Joo, okay. Sitten kun osoitat kädellä johtosuuntaan, niin zoomataan sinne päin.
Joo. Joo.
Okay, hello everyone watching this live. We are team number 23. We are a startup company that provides learning tools for kids. We understand the fact that nowadays kids have to start learning English earlier than ever. So we have provided a memory card game which teaches English, and it has easily understandable pictures with the words, and also the digital version provides the correct pronunciation. And normal memory game gets boring really fast, so we have made 3 different versions of this game, and the game gets more challenging when moving forward. So there are more like elements like timer, and you can play against other players, and so that's how we ensure that the interest is always like in the game, so you don't lose your patience playing the game. Because we have found out that like right now there's currently quite many actually quite good learning games, but the problem with them is that they get boring really fast. So we want to avoid that. We used domain-specific modeling to model our games, and we made models that are like easily applicable to other these type of games. And in this our demo we have like IT-related words, but this idea could be like expanded to like places or like food or like animals. So there's a lot of different vocabulary, and right now we are currently focusing on English language, but also we can apply this to more type of languages. And yeah, here you see some visualizations, and we made using by meta edit, and we have an awesome team that will really push this thing forward. Thank you so much.
All right. Hi. So this is Team Shamat, and our goal is to create the most epic entertainment experiences through amazing games. And so we started this project with coming up with a base model for our 3 games. So we used the principles of DSM to come up with one model that was later used to come up with more specified models, such as here. And we came up with more specific rules for each game. And this model can be used to create various different kinds of games. For example, the 3 games that we are presenting here today, we have a trivia game called Shamat Know-How. There are different levels of difficulty in the trivial questions, and the dice determines how hard question you get. And then if you answer correctly, you get to move on the board, and the more questions you answer correctly, the better chance you have at winning. Then we have a kids game called Shamat Adventure Junior, and that's more of a treasure hunting game for kids. There are some obstacles on the board, such as the werewolf, and the kids also get to complete different kinds of tasks and answer questions, and if they get them right, they get to again move on the board. And then last but not least, we have this word explaining game where you have different categories for the words, and the dice determines which category you have to explain. And this is a team game, so you explain the words to your friend, and then you have 60 seconds to explain. Thank you.
Onks tääkään sun biisi?
Tää on muuten.
Okei, haluatko puhua? Vaikka tän nyt tuolla. Eli 2 minuuttia kieli englanti ja osoittelet johtuu päin, niin käännellään kameraa sinne.
Joo. Okay, so we are Pöhinä.io, and the way we approached our problem with DSM was to model the similar structures that we can find in different kind of board games, which are determined by like players throwing a dice and moving according to the dice. So what we have here is 3 different validations, which consist of the dice, players, positions on the board. Some of them are designated for different kind of interactable objects. For different games, the interactable objects can be differing. So for example, for this game, here your purpose is to collect different amount of points from the table, and the player collecting 100 points is going to be the winner. In Jallutähti, your purpose is to try to find a Jallu bottle from under the stars, and the player who finds the star first will win the game. And in our last one, some of the spots are designated for answering questions, and when a player answers 10 questions correctly, they will win the game. So we have applied the DSM model to make kind of a generalization of a standard board game model, which you can use to make an digital implementation in a very short period of time. Thank you.
Alright, so our game is Beat Slap, which is a precision game with your friends. The main idea is to stop the timer as precisely as possible. We have different kind of variations where you can stop the timer on 1 second, get the best average of a certain amount of rounds, or stop the timer as fast as you can. You can make bets and play with your friends and compete, and the one who gets the most precise number closest to 1 or 0 or whatever is the game mode wins the game and wins the possible reward, which can be predetermined. It can be money, or it can be beer, or it can be whatever you want. It's just a fun game to play with your friends, and you can use it to, for example, in restaurant, to determine who pays the bill, or you can just use it to spend time. And with DSM we were able to implement easily different kind of game modes just by adding different values on the timer, and so that's basically it, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you.